Hey guys, how is everybody? Hey Mo, hey Daisy, hey everybody. We'll give it a couple minutes. I think some more people will join in a few minutes. We'll see. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay, good deal. Good. All right, we'll give it just a couple seconds and see. Hey Late, how are you? Yay. Okay, we'll go ahead and start talking a little bit. Maybe some more will join in. While we're waiting on some more to join in, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all the rest of the pictures that I was showing Monday when my puppy dog got sick. I wanted to tell y'all too. Thank y'all so much for Tuesday. Bimbo, my Pomeranian, he did have a seizure. Was it Monday? Tuesday? That when we were live. I'm so scatterbrained because from him being sick and everything. I can't remember what day it was. Then when we were live, y'all heard him crying, but he did have a seizure, and I'm home. I'm home alone with him all day, every day, and it did scare me. It scared me really bad. I thought he quit breathing at one point, but he perked right back up. He walking around, playing, wagging his tail. It was Tuesday. That's what I was thinking. Um, he's walking around playing. He doesn't even act like he feels bad now. But I wanted to thank everyone for praying for us, and Mo, I wanted to thank you again for shutting everything down for me and for taking care of the video for me because I definitely did not want anyone else to come back and hear that. Bimbo is our world, and I told Capri Tuesday in chat. She had messaged me to ask me if everything was okay, and I told her, I said, he's my baby. We adopted him when my mom died, and my son was having a very hard time over the loss of my mother. I mean, he was preteen, and he wouldn't even hardly come out of his bedroom. And once we got Bimbo and adopted him, my son was just like a different young man. He was light came back in his face, in his eyes, and he would just light up when he saw Bimbo. Bimbo sleeps with my son every single night. He'll be standing at the door waiting on my son when he walks in from work this afternoon, and it scared me. I thought, how on earth am I ever going to tell my son that something happened to Bimbo? But like I said, he's fine. He's not even acting like anything ever happened. So I don't know what caused it. We may not ever know. So, but anyway, I wanted to thank y'all for praying for him, and Mo, thank you for handling everything, and everybody, thank you all for being so nice about everything. I hate to leave that like that when I do, but I had to see about him. I had to get down on the floor with him and see about him. All right. Uh, we were talking Monday, and guys, I might not be able to see chat right now, so just let me know One of y'all messaged me. One number, I got it up on my phone now. Yeah, my vet. Hey Lulu, our vet was out with COVID, so it was a very bad afternoon. Okay, Monday I was telling y'all about my son had an accident in 2019. I was actually in the hospital. I had my pacemaker placed, and they punctured my lung, putting my pacemaker lead in. And I had to have a chest tube. My lung was 50% collapsed. My son had started to school. He was driving 50 miles each way back and forth to school, and he was asked me if he could drive my car while I was in the hospital, and I told him, yeah, it was just sitting in the driveway, and which I didn't know at the time what a good decision that was going to be, because my car had it was newer and it had than his truck was, and he of course it had more airbags, more protection and everything. But as you can see, the rocks right there, and there was some loose gravel back up a little bit from where he went off the road. His one of the tires just hit the rocks just right, and he lost control, and he flipped. He flipped. He said he thinks 3 to 4 times. He said he flipped twice and started praying. And and he said he just started praying for God to protect him. But what I want y'all to know is that's what we always told our children to do if they got in a situation, or we taught them to pray anytime, you know what I mean? But especially if they were in a situation where things could go very bad, to start praying. And he did. He said, Mom, when it flipped the second time, he said, I just closed my eyes and started begging God to protect me. He said, I told God, he said, I don't think this is going to end well. Please protect me. Please. Well, there was a very nice lady that was behind him, saw it happen, and stopped. My son was very, very upset. He was trying to get out of the car, and he couldn't. Hey, Teresa, how are you? And he couldn't get out of the car. So, I mean, he couldn't get out of the car. He couldn't get hands free to work. His cell phone was in his pocket, and so he screamed to her, would she call for help for him? And she told him she'd already called 911 and told them where they were at and everything. And he said, well, will you call my mom? Here's her cell phone, but tell her you need to talk to my dad. My mom is very sick. Don't let her know what happened. And so that lady called my cell phone number, and my husband left immediately from the hospital. And he just finally told me, he said, he's been in an accident. I've got to go. And so my husband left to go be with him and to see about him. So I called the woman back, and I told her, I said, look, I said, I'm his mom, and I said, I'm in the hospital and I can't come. I said, please tell me if he's really okay. She said, oh, he's okay. You see how it landed on its side? There was a sheriff's deputy had gotten there, and he was standing up on the back door right there, and talking to my son. And he said, he was trying to get the door open, and the door was banged real bad, and he couldn't get the door open. So at first, but then he finally got him. He was trapped in the car. Yes, Lulu, he was trapped. Hey, Ginger, he was trapped in the car, and he was fully seatbelted. Um, he said airbags came out from everywhere. My car was a 2018 model, and this was 2019. He said, my son said airbags came out from everywhere. And he said that, so they got him in the ambulance, and the deputy finally got the door open and they got him in the ambulance, and the paramedic that was in there with him she asked him what she could do to make him more comfortable on their way to the hospital. And he said, I want to talk to my mom. He said, please let me talk to my mom. And she said, okay, son. She said, I'll call your, she said, give me the number. I'll call for you. And first thing he said to me was, Mom, I'm sorry about your car. And I said, oh, no, kiddo. I said, I would have taken a sledgehammer myself to that car before I would have let anything happen to you or your brother. Y'all are our world. And no. I'm not worried about the car. I'm not worried about it at all. So, yeah, the accident was in 2000. It was in May of 2019. I was just telling this story, Lulu. I was just telling people, about how God protects us. And the other day, I was looking for something when we were getting ready to go live. And when I was looking through my phone, I happened to see these pictures again. And yeah, I was just saying, how God protects us and everything. When we don't think that there's any hope, there's hope. My son had a cut on his finger. He had some glass in his head. Hey, Tick Turtle. And yeah, but he walked away from it. He walked away from this accident. And one of the first responders told my husband, when my husband got to him, he said, he should not have walked away from this accident. I can't explain any reason why he walked away from this. For those of you who may wonder how we got the pictures from the scene, the tow truck driver took those for my husband and for insurance purposes, so he could show the insurance company, where he retrieved the car from and everything. But and then he told my husband he had pictures of it. Did my husband want them? And he told him yes to please text them to my husband. So he did. And but yeah, see there, my child was protected. The car caved in everywhere on the top, everywhere except where my husband was sitting. I mean, except where my son was sitting. Except where my son was sitting. He see, he was protected, and you can see right there how the door on the driver's side, how it was dented in and everything, and why my kiddo was having a hard time getting the door open. And yeah, but they told him, we don't know how you just walked away from that. To be honest, I called Tennessee Highway Patrol and to ask them if they were the ones working the accident, and they said yes. And I said, okay. I said, can you have the trooper call me? And the dispatcher said, yeah, he would have him call me. And so the trooper called me, and he said, do you know who was driving your car? And I said, yes, my son was. And he said, you know where he went to? I said, he's at the hospital. The paramedics took him to the hospital. He said, oh, okay. He said, well, they had already taken him when he got there. So he ended up meeting my son at the hospital and got him to sign he needed him to sign a piece of paper that he was the one driving the vehicle. So he got him to sign the piece of paper and everything. But I asked the trooper, I said, I've talked to my son. I said, he's okay. I said, I heard his voice. I've talked to him. He's okay. I said, I'm in the hospital. I said, can you tell me about my car? I said, so I just know what to be prepared for. And he said, ma'am, I can't even tell you what kind of car it is. He said, we haven't got it out yet. And he said, I cannot tell you what kind of car it is. And he said, if your son walked away from this accident, he's a very, very lucky young man. Hey guys, hold on 1 second. I'm getting a phone call. Okay, I just need to make sure everything's okay. All right, guys, sorry about that. I just had to make sure everything was okay, and it is. But yes, he's a very, very fortunate young man. He really is. And my friend, he was not so lucky. Oh my goodness, like I am so, so sorry. Hey, SM, how are you? I am so, so sorry. But yeah, guys, so I just wanted to show y'all that Mo and I and Robin, we always when we chat texting with each other, we always try to come up with ideas on things that we can do for lives. And yeah, so we were talking about this, and I said, well, I'd like to tell everybody about it. So I'll go through the pictures one more time if some people just came in so y'all can see. But he went. There were some smaller rocks than this back up the road just a little bit, and he said he remembers um, getting close to those rocks. The road was kind of narrow through there, and he said he remembers getting close to those rocks, and he just went off. He lost control and he hit those rocks and just started flipping. And like I said, he knows that he said he knows that he flipped 2 times, and he thinks he flipped 3 to 4 times. But yeah, we're very, very fortunate. In fact, we were so pleased with the way the car protected him. When we went to replace it, we got a 2019 model, just like it, except red. So, and then my in-laws actually bought one like it, and they did get white. I didn't want white again because of the memories of this. And when I got out of the hospital, I asked my husband if he would take me to see him. I mean, to see the car, and because I wanted to see it. Hey, Earth Angel. And my hubby told me no. He said, He said, you've been through enough this week. He said, nope. Mm-mm. He said, because I got out of the hospital the day after he had the accident. So my hubby told me no. And yes, he definitely had a guardian angel with him. He definitely did. And so, yes, God was with my son. He definitely was. And so he was definitely well protected. And like I said, my hubby just finally told me, no, we're not going. I've already gotten everything that belonged to us out of the vehicle. We're just going to consider it a blessing that we have our kiddo at home, and we're going to try to forget this day ever happened and try to move on with our lives. But yeah, I told y'all that I had had a pacemaker placed the day before the accident, and when my husband brought him to the hospital to see me, I had to rebandage his finger. His finger, they glued it at the hospital that he was at, and it busted back open. So I had to rebandage it for him. And then he crawled up in the bed with me and lay down. And he said, Mom, he said, aren't you glad we tested this pacemaker out before you went home? I said, son, if I wasn't so happy to see you, I'd probably hurt you right now myself saying that to me. But yeah, it was a beautiful thing getting to see him and getting to hold him, get to hug on him and getting to love on him and everything. It was good. It was really, really good. But I thank y'all for being interested in it and wanting to look at my pictures and everything. Some of you had actually messaged me or emailed me and asked me if I would finish showing them because y'all wanted to see the rest of them, and I appreciate that. I really do. And thank you to everybody that asked me about Bimbo. That is my dog's name. That's my dog's real name. Don't anybody think when I say Bimbo that I'm calling anybody a Bimbo. My dog's name is Bimbo. That was his name when we adopted him. And so we just kept it at that. He was a few years old when we got him, so we just kept his name that. And That's his real name, and he's sport rotten. Bimbo is good. He is good. He's been playing. Hey Amber, it is a cute name, Lake. Thank you. I love it. I love his name in our own little way, but I've been on the phone with people and I'll say, no, Bimbo, or come on, let's go outside, Bimbo. And they'll say, huh, did you just call me a bimbo? No, I didn't call you a bimbo. That's my dog's name. Um, all right, guys, I want to talk to y'all about something else. And this is personal because some people, hey, Rowdy Gal. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Rowdy Gal. I appreciate that. Yes, guys, there is Mo's link. Please go subscribe to her if you haven't done so already. Please go subscribe to her channel. We're trying to get Mo to 500 subs where she can have a community tab. Mo has all kinds of inspiring pictures and things that she comes across, and she wants to be able to share them on her page. But as you know, it takes 500 subs to get a community tab. So let's try to get Mo to 500 subs. And she said someday she might start doing some videos and stuff. But right now, she just wants to be able to post, encouraging and inspirational pictures and quotes and stuff. So let's go. Oh, thank y'all so much. Oh, yes, Mo. I definitely will tell them. Y'all heard with us talk about Mo had a car accident. Mo had a car accident February the 11th. Um, 2013. Is that right, Mo? Was it 2013? Hey, Blues Girl, how are you? If I'm wrong on the year, Mo, please tell me. But okay. So my doctor in Texas called me, and he said, or his secretary, his nurse did, excuse me, and they were trying to schedule my procedure. Y'all know I got to have surgery. We got to go to Texas to have it done. So it's the only place that I found that's helped me at all with my migraines and the nerve and the pain that I was experiencing behind my eyes. So anyway, I got to go to Texas to have another procedure done. And they called me and they said February the 11th. Well, I scheduled the surgery and everything. I was taking care of some things. I had to make an appointment for my cardiologist to get clearance and everything. And it hit me, whoa, wait a minute. That's Mo's anniversary for her car accident. And so, yes, February the 11th. It's the same day as Mo's anniversary for her car accident. So Mo and I were talking, and I said, Mo, I said, I don't want, don't want to upset you by having it done that day. Are you okay? I know, because Mo and I are pretty close. I'm just going to tell y'all, we've already been on the phone today. We've texted each other all morning. We've been in Messenger all morning. And Mo and I talk all the time. I thought it was 2003, but 2003. I said 2013, didn't I? I meant 2003. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes my brain thinks one thing and my mouth comes out with the opposite. I'm sorry. But her accident was February the 11th, 2003. And so we were talking about it, and Mo said, I think, we do, like, Mo and I have a good bond. We really do. And so Mo and I talked, and we decided she said she always in the past dreaded February the 11th. She dreaded it. Hey, Anxious, how are you? And so I told her, I said, well, why don't we start looking at that day as a positive thing? positive, because she said she'd always dreaded that day in the past. And she said, I had never thought about it really like that. I said, look, Mo, I said, God lets you live. He let you have this time with your mom because Mo and her mother lived together. He let you have this time with your sister, and he let you see your niece be raised and grow up into a beautiful young woman. Yes, friendships like this are very rare, and it's a beautiful thing. We really, really do. She literally texted me the other day when Bimbo was sick and said, I've ended the live stream. I've made the live private. Um, do you want me to call Chris or call your husband for you? And I said, no. I said, it'll be okay. I said, it'll be okay. Well, I after she said that, after we got through talking, I ended up calling my husband myself. And so he anyway, but that's the kind of friendship we had. We are just we it's like, honestly, we were texting each other this morning, and I went to take my shower, and I'm like, no, I've got to tell Mom I'm getting in the shower, because we were right in the middle of a conversation. And I said, because if I don't respond back pretty quick, she's going to think something happened to me. I got sick or something. So I texted her and told her, hey, I'm getting in the shower. If I don't respond back in a few minutes, you know what's going on. She said, oh, okay. But yeah, we decided to start looking at her. And that Mo was perfectly good with this. I don't want anybody to think, oh, Case put this idea in Mo's head and, played off Mo's car accident. No, 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 no. Mo and I talked, and Mo said, yes, I like that idea. Let's start thinking of it in a positive light. She told her mama that we talked about it and how much better she felt. Guys, for 19 years, Mo has not left her house on that anniversary date, on February the 11th. She wouldn't go anywhere. She wouldn't do anything. And now she doesn't really dread that day. Now, when we get on that day, she may feel totally different. But, and then, she had a dog that also had seizures. And when this is how much Mo and I could really tell about each other. Okay, Bimbo fell twice Sunday. He was running in our living room and just fell over one time. And we thought we've got hardwood in our living room, and I had cleaned the floors, and we thought he just hit it just right and lost his balance. And then one time he fell in the kitchen the same way. Well, I was telling Mo about it, and Mo said, I don't want to worry you, Case, but what if something's wrong with him? What, did he shake or anything? And I said, no. She said, well, my Momo had had seizures and did that. Well, that afternoon, my Bimbo had a seizure. So, yeah, that's how much we can sense when something's going on with the other one. I woke up Monday morning. Mo went to get her braces Wednesday for her legs because they're trying to stretch her ankles, strengthen her ankles, and get her to where she can hopefully stand one day. Mo is basically paralyzed from the knees down. And yes, like we actually talked about it Tuesday morning. Yes, she was trying to prepare me in case something happened to him. And he had a seizure that afternoon. And y'all know something happened to him because Mo told me that y'all could hear him crying. Yes, like it would be great if Mo could actually stand up. If she can actually stand up someday, I've asked her for pictures. I've asked her if she'll do a live with me. And yeah, we're gonna We are going to celebrate. And I've also told Mo if she's ever comfortable telling her story about, in her own words, what happened to her in her car accident, she can come on and do it anytime she wants to. Anytime. We'll have a live anytime she wants to. But yeah, we were actually talking about it and um, possibility of Bimbo getting sick, and then Tuesday afternoon, and it was like, in some ways, God was using Bo to prepare my heart that Bimbo might get sick. I think I really do. Yes, Daisy, Mo is going to stand. She is. She is going to stand. She's going to stand up. She is. She absolutely is. She is going to stand. Yeah, Mo's little puppy passed away August the 18th, 2019, and she was just trying to prepare me for what might be happening to my Bimbo, and she did. She did, and she was telling me, after she got everything situated on here for me, she on the computer, she called me and told me, if he's still having trouble, what the things she did to help her doggy when he would have a seizure, and to help me, try to get into feeling better. But guys, that's what I'm saying. God can use. You don't think God can use somebody that's online that you've never met face to face, but I'm telling you, He can. He really, really can. Mo and I have even talked about sometime when I'm better and she's better, and COVID ever settles down where we're not, afraid of catching COVID so badly. Meeting and possibly like Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, and hanging out with each other for the weekend or something. Yay, Mo! Mo's won her braces 4 hours today. Yay! I'm so happy, Mo. I really, really am. I really, really am. Yay! Okay, guys, I wanted to talk to you about this other thing. Okay, um, we all know. Now, look, before I say this, okay, y'all are gonna know what creator I'm talking about. Please do not mention anybody's specific channel in here, okay? Please don't. I don't want to be that kind of channel. Please don't mention other creators when I say what I'm about to say, okay? Lulu, my friend flipped his jet ski at age 26. Waist down, never walked. Oh my goodness, Lulu, I am so sorry. I am so, so sorry. It's scary, guys. It really, really is. Okay, we know that there's a lot going on YouTube right now in our communities that we visit. We know that there are people saying things, racial slurs, doing inappropriate things to little girls or children in general. It's just disgusting. And saying the racial slurs, talking about what to do with specific races and all that, I don't want that in here. I don't want that creator in here. I don't want to be around that creator. I know that other channels have tried to give that creator the benefit of the doubt and try to welcome them. I won't be that person. I will not be that person. I don't want to be in the same chat with that person. If that creator is in a chat where I'm at, I won't say anything, but I will leave. I've already did it twice. And I do not want, no, we won't allow it in here, period. I'm not going to give specifics but I know it triggered people. I know it triggered people. I had people email me and text and message me. I was triggered. We do not want to be around that person at all. And so I was telling y'all the other day that my oldest son has started dating this girl that has a little girl, and she is part American Indian and she is part African American. Her real father is African American, and her real father's mother is American Indian. And hearing what that person said about African Americans and hearing what that person said about little girls has made me nauseous. I don't mind telling y'all, I had a very traumatic childhood. I did. I had a very traumatic childhood. Like, and I appreciate that. I really do. Like, I really do appreciate that. I really, really do. And I respect you for that. I do. Like, I respect you for that. Hey, Rez, um, Kashmir. I don't want his name mentioned in here. I don't want his name mentioned in here. But I'm just explaining why I feel like I do about it. I'm just explaining why I feel like I do about it. Okay, like I'm not down to anybody that feels like that they can give him a second chance. I'm just saying I can't with what's because it triggers back memories that I went to counseling to put away. Kashmir, we're actually talking about the live that the videos that were shown last night. If that helps you, I'm not being ugly about it, Kashmir. I don't want anybody to think I'm being ugly by not mentioning his name. I just don't want it mentioned. But when I was 5 years old, my real dad died at the age of 34 from a it was basically like pneumonia and sepsis set up. He died in 1980. I said he was 34 years old, and within 6 months of him dying, he and my mother were still married. In 6 months of him dying, my mother had moved. He was really my real dad's first cousin. He had moved him in. She had moved him into our house with me and my two brothers, and he was very abusive to us. And he beat us. We went to bed without food. He sexually assaulted me. He sexually assault. He physically assaulted us. And when I was 8, my aunt and uncle found out what was going on. They suspected something wasn't right, but they never did have proof. And they had us one weekend, and I finally just started crying and told my aunt, we were getting ready for bed, and I told my aunt everything that had happened. And that had been going on. And so my aunt called my mother and told her, said, look, the kids have told us X, Y, and Z are happening. And either he leaves or we're filing for custody of the kids. Well, my little brother, he was 2 years younger than me, so he was 6 at this point. Actually, he was like 18 months, but he was like 6 years old, so younger. He was 18 months younger than I was. So he actually stayed with my mom because he was so upset thinking that he was leaving my mother alone. And actually, at the time, that man was actually better to my little brother than he was to us. He really was. He wasn't doing the things to my little brother. They also had a child together. I had a half brother. So Then I lived with my aunt and uncle. That's who I called my mom and dad. They raised me. They were my mom and dad. They had physical custody of us. My real mother met that next morning at the courthouse and signed over everything, everything, signed over full custody of me and my brother to my aunt and uncle. Well, I got married. Group got married and everything, and I ended up going to nursing school. Then I had a stroke in 2011, and I couldn't go back to work. That same year, my my brother called that stayed with my birth mom. He called me one day, and he said, we called her Granny, and he said Granny has was having a colonoscopy this morning because they think she has cancer, and they nicked her colon in two places, and had to do emergency surgery, and she's in septic shock, and they don't know if she's going to live. And I said, I started crying, and he said, if you want to see her alive, you probably need to come to the hospital. So my dad that raised me, that lives right next door to me now. Oh, Kashmir, I am so sorry. Oh my goodness, girl. Y'all pray for Kashmir's mom. She had a stroke in November and just had another one over the weekend. Oh, Kashmir, I am so sorry. But he told me, they don't know if she's going to live. And so my dad told me, he said, I'll take you to the hospital to see her if you want to go see her. So I went to the hospital, and I ended up staying at the hospital with them. And then my husband came and got me when he got off work. Well, she had a colostomy and an ileostomy and was cut from the belly button down. So all those dressings had to be changed, and her incision had to be packed every day. So the hospital told us that she was going to need basically, round the clock care, and that we could either bring her home or she could go to a skilled nursing facility and let them do it. And me and her talked, and she asked me if I could try to take care of her. I said, yeah, I can give it a try. I said, now I'm not promising you that the doctor won't, that the doctors won't eventually tell you that you have to go to a skilled facility, but yeah, I'll try it. But I want to tell you what, guys. Okay, no, I skipped a little part. I'm sorry. Before we found out she was sick and she had cancer, my niece had came to me, the brother that stayed with her, my niece came to me, his daughter came to me and told me that he was doing the same thing to her that he had did to me. He wasn't beating her, he was sexually assaulting her. Okay, Kashmir, we will be praying for you, girl. Yes, we will definitely be praying for you. Yes, Mo and I are blessed to have found a friendship like we have. We definitely are. Um, so I ended up turning him in to the sheriff's department. I filed a report and turned him in. And he was sentenced. They investigated it. They found evidence that he had done it in two different counties because he owned property that his aunt had left him. She didn't have any children. She left him property that had a house on it, and he had been taking my niece there and doing god awful things to her. So he was sentenced to 24 years in prison to serve 100%. So he was in prison. And I did go to the children. It's not CPS, but it's like an agency here in town that they take people to that their kids have been abused and stuff like that. And so I told they called me in. That agency called me and asked me if I would come in and talk to them about what I had been through. And I said, sure, I will. And I made an appointment with them, and I went in and told them exactly what he had done to me, exactly what I could remember he done to me. And they asked me, they told me some of the things that my niece, additional things my niece had opened up to them about, and asked me if that was kind of the same things that he had been doing to me. And they told me that they suspected that there was another child, that there was another female involved in between my niece and myself. And so we still don't know who that is, but the police, the sheriff, and everybody suspects that there was another victim in between my niece and myself. So, but anyway, so then after we got my real mother home from the hospital, like I told y'all before, I am a niece. My nursing license are still fully active, even though I'm not working right now. I always do my continuing education credits and keep my license active. So I took care of my mother at home. But guys, I'm going to tell y'all something. I used that time with her to work through some of the hurt that I thought I had already worked through. You know what I mean? We talked about everything. Um, she cried and told me that she didn't realize at the time what all he had put me through. And asked me if I could forgive her and all of this stuff. And you know what? I forgave her, but not for her. I forgave her for myself. I forgave her for myself because I was hurting myself, keeping that all bundled up inside of me. And so, oh, thank you, Vash. I appreciate that. But yeah, I forgave her for myself. Because, and if you're a Christian and you study the Bible, you know that the Bible tells us to do that. And so I've used that next 18 months or so to try to heal some of the things, um, some of the hurt that had been between us. My children knew her as their granny. My mom that raised me was my grandmother. My aunt that finished raising me, she was their grandmother. My birth mother was their granny. And when my mom that raised me passed away in December of 2012, my real mother passed away in March 2013. When my mom that raised me passed away, my real mother stayed at the funeral home with us. My dad is very, very old fashioned, and he wanted to keep the funeral home. He wanted to stay at the funeral home all night. We slept on the couch. They have different couches in the funeral home. They have several couches in the funeral home. And we actually slept on the couch. 2 nights. My dad stayed 2 nights. I came home one night because I was feeling really bad. My eye was twitching. And so the night before her funeral, they wanted me to come home and rest. So I did. But my birth mother stayed at the funeral home with us. And then actually when she got sick and was at the doctor actually by herself, and the doctor called me and said that I needed to come, that her blood pressure was really low, and she was wanting me to be there. So I went to the clinic where she was at, and they were wanting to put her in the hospital. And so I was better by then. I had already been through my therapy and everything, and I was driving again. And my birth mother asked me if I thought I would feel like if I would feel like driving her to the hospital. And I said, sure, because we were 30 minutes away from the ambulance. And we were additional 45 minutes away from the nearest hospital. So the doctor told me that if I felt like driving her, and I told the doctor that I was a nurse, and I said, I'll be fine. She said, well, if you have any trouble, pull over and call for help. Oh, thank you, Vash. I appreciate that. So I pulled over and we got her in the car and I drove her to the hospital and I ended up staying at the hospital with her all night that night. She the doctor at the hospital, her oncologist came in and he said that her chemotherapy had basically released all at the same time, all at once. Said that like her body had stored up her chemotherapy and it released it all at one time. It wiped out her immune system, and she basically had nothing to fight that off with. And so he told me that she wasn't going to live. He said her blood pressure, guys, when I got her to the hospital was 70/30, and he told me that we needed to know if she wanted to be put on life support or not. And so we went. The doctor and I went in the room with her where she was at, and I asked her. I said, "Granny," I said, "Do you know what's happening?" And she nodded her head yes. And I said, "Do you know what the doctor thinks is going to happen?" And she said, she nodded her head yes again. And nobody had said anything to her at this point because we were in a private lounge discussing her care and everything. And I said, the doctor says that you're going to be taking a special trip pretty soon. I said, do you know what the doctor's talking about? And she pointed to heaven. Took her finger, pointed up in the sky. And I said, I said, the doctor says that you're probably going to be going to heaven pretty soon. I said, do you want to be put on life support? Is something where if your heart was to stop or you were to quit breathing? And she shook her head no. She didn't want it. And so the doctor asked me if I was okay with signing the form not to put her on life support. And I told him yes, and I signed the piece of paper and everything. And so we called my brother, he was the one that came with me, and we were raised by our aunt and uncle. He lives in East Tennessee now, and so I called him and I told him what was going on, and he said, "Let me talk to her." And so I put it on speakerphone, and he told her. He said, "Granny," he said, "it's okay." He said, "I'm not mad anymore." He told her that he said that he wasn't mad anymore, and he told her that I wasn't mad anymore. And whatever that God was wanting to do with her, to let him do. That it was okay. We were okay. She was going to be okay. And just do what God was wanting. If God was ready to take her home, not to fight. And that afternoon, they started giving her some pain medication because she was getting very uncomfortable and getting very fidgety. She was hurting. And so they gave her pain medication, and she passed away the next morning. But guys, I tell y'all all of this to tell you, people were saying last night how hard it is to forgive parents. I had one of the worst experiences with a real mother that I think you could have. You know what I mean? She signed me away like I didn't mean anything. She let a man beat on me. She let a man assault me physically and sexually. She let a man say very ugly things to me. And I ended up forgiving her. But I didn't do it for her, I did it for myself because even though I had been to therapy, I had been to counseling, everything, I still had not forgiven her. I went years in my teenage years, in my early 20s. I didn't want to speak to this woman When I had my boys, I made my husband promise me that if she showed up at the hospital, he would ask her to leave. I didn't want her around me. And I didn't realize what I was doing to myself, holding that much hate and anger up inside my body. And then when I forgave her, and we actually tried to work on a relationship, I'm proud of the time that I had with her. I'm proud that her husband lived the rest of his life in prison. He died in prison. Um, he had a diabetic ulcer come up on his leg, and he died of sepsis. He died of infection, bloodstream infection. But yeah, I'm proud that I turned him in, and I'm proud that Vash, we're very proud to have you here. We are everybody in here, and everybody in here is positive, are positive people. And we also have a channel, Vash, it's called Case Cares, that we're getting ready to start devotions back. I've been sick for the last few weeks, and we haven't been able to do anything on that channel. But it's called Case Cares. One of the mods will drop the link in a minute. And if you want to sub to it, we're going to do even more Bible studies and things on that channel too. But yeah, guys, nights ago, spewing some hate. I agree, Rose. I mean, I agree with you. But I'm just saying, as for me, myself, I cannot be around that type of talk. And I don't knock anyone that can go in there. I just can't. It triggers too many flashbacks of what I went through. You know what I mean? I just can't. I can't do it. I can't. Last night, when I heard 1 minute of the first one, of the first video, I was so upset that I could not even think to type to Mo, to text Mo. Mo texted me and said, "How are you feeling? Are you okay?" Because she knows how things like this upsets me. I couldn't even respond back to her. And I can't. It triggers too much. I cannot do it. I can't. Mm-mm. I can't do something. I can't do something that's going to trigger, that's going to bring those memories back for me. I just can't. You know what I mean? So, and I don't knock anyone that can't. Bash, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I can't. It's just a decision that I have made. I just can't. But I don't knock anyone that can. See, guys, this is the thing about this, about life. Everybody is if everybody has different experiences and can tolerate difference. Everybody has different experiences and different things that they can tolerate. So yeah, if y'all can go in there, I won't feel bad to you about it. I just know that I can't. But that's just a decision that I've made, and but yeah, just, and y'all know that I'm not the type of person that's going to tell anybody, "Hey, I don't want you to go in there." I'm just not that type of person. I'm not going to tell you, "I don't want you to go into that channel," or "You better not be seen in that chat." I'm not like that. You're all adults, and you'll figure out what's best for you. Late, I'm curious too. I am too. But I don't know how long ago that it happened. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there's Mo's channel. If you guys don't, oh Lulu, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate all of you. And again, since I had to make the live private the other day, I wanted to just restate it so if anybody comes and listens to this, that they will know. There was a rumor going around while I wasn't going live and I was sick that I had asked for $700 for my medical trip that I'm what I have to take for surgery. Mm-mm. I didn't ask for $700. I'm going to have to go 700 miles, and I was just making the connection to let everyone know, how far I had to go, for my to get my care. And I never asked anybody for a dime, and I won't. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with asking for help when you need help. Y'all know I will drop your links. If somebody's going through a hard time and needs care or needs help with something, I will drop your link. The mods will drop your link. Um, I don't mind because if there's somebody that's watching now or wants to watch or watches later and wants to help you, feels led to help you, I'm not going to stop that. I'll drop your link. But my husband has a really good job and we're okay. You know what I mean? And my husband actually puts money on a healthcare spending card, a flex spending card, and budgets for things like this trip. Uh, the doctor that's going to do my surgery doesn't actually bill my secondary insurance. It's the insurance that he doesn't accept. So I have to pay my copay and my deductible out of pocket. That's $850 just for the doctor's office. That's not my trip to Texas. That's not that's not our food while we're there. That's not the hotel expenses or anything. That's literally just what I have to give the doctor before I even leave my house. They literally take this payment before I ever leave the house. I can't make payments on it, which I'm okay. I wouldn't anyway because we've got the money set aside for it. But but like I said, just know whoever started the rumor, please don't say that. I would never ask y'all to give me any money for my medical care or a trip. I'm very fortunate. If I didn't have it, I have family that does, um, and I'll be okay. Thank you, Ginger. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. It bothered me really bad when I got some messages about it. It bothered me really bad, and I just wanted to clear it up because know only made the comment about how far we had to go because I know there are people that watch even from other countries and that live further away from Tennessee than others do, and I know that some may not realize how far away I am from Houston. And I was just trying to help people relate to the distance that we were going to have to go. But right now, our plan is to fly into Texas on February the 10th, and I'll see the surgeon that afternoon in his clinic. And then the next morning on the 11th, I'll have surgery, and then on the 12th, the 11th on a Friday, the 12th that Saturday, we'll fly back home, and then we'll go back like 7 days later, like the next Friday, for him. No, excuse me, the next Thursday, for him to suction my nose out and everything, and clean everything up. So, oh, Bash, thank you so much. You're gonna make me cry. I appreciate that. But yeah. So he's gonna suction my nose out and everything a week later, and then my next appointment will be telemed. Via the phone, kind of like a Zoom call, and then at some point in early spring, my husband and I will go back to Texas again for him to do another CT scan of my sinus cavity and make sure that he got everything taken care of. But yeah, guys, it's just been. I mean, really, we're all very, very blessed. I'm blessed to have found you guys. Um, we might be small, but we're powerful, And I know some people talk about my southern accent, my southern drawl, whatever that you want to call it, but it's just me. I'm not going to be able to change it. I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. I've literally lived in the same city all 46 years of my life, and I'll live here until I die. And it's just me. And yes, I'm glad you said that, Mo. Thank you so much. Bash, on our community tab, we put every Monday we put a prayer request up, and if anyone has a prayer request, you can post it there under the tab, and we pray over those several times a day. Oh, thank you, Riz Rose. I appreciate that. Uh, we pray over those several times a day, and then my husband and I, we do our daily devotional at night. We do our devotional together at night before he goes to bed. We pray over those together. Bash, you're new here, so I'm going to tell you, my husband is a youth minister in our church. So we believe in prayer. We believe in the power of prayer. We believe in God protecting us. We believe in all of that. So yeah, we pray over those every night together as part of our devotion time that we spend together. And just know that your prayer request, and you don't have to put specifics about your prayer request. Oh, thank you, Daisy. Thank you. Um, you don't have to put specifics about your prayer request. Just put unspoken or whatever. Just make a note there that you need prayer. We don't have to know what's going on in your life. If you want to tell us, we're more than happy to read it and talk to you about it. But you can just put unspoken, and we know that you need extra prayers that week or whatever. And it doesn't matter if you need prayers every single week. If you want us to continuously pray for you, specifically, just please put that on there, and we will. And just so that you guys know, if if I'm ever out and I can't post it on Mondays, Mo has access to it. Mo has access to it, and she can post. She can post things on the community on my community tab just like I can. So and she will, if I'm out and can't do something, Mo will. Mo knows, and she has access to everything. So because we were kind of worried about when I go to the hospital and stuff, to let everybody know, and if something was to happen on the channel and all that. So we 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 put it on there. Mom, I'm going to talk to you some more about it even before I go to Texas, so that yeah, we'll get you through it. But Mo knows. Mo knows, and then my husband's going to text Mo when I go to surgery, and he's going to text Mo when I get out of surgery, and let her know that how everything is going. So if she'll let you guys know how everything is going. But does anybody have anything specific that they would like for us to talk about? I think I've covered everything that we were talking about Tuesday. Oh, that video from Tuesday, I did leave that on private because you could hear my bimbo crying when he had his seizure. And I don't want that. That's too painful. And it might trigger somebody else that's lost a pet. And plus, there are some. Oh, okay, Lulu. Thank you so much. And plus, there are some very mean people on here, and I didn't want anybody to take it and clip it and think I was hurting my dog. Thank you, Vash. I appreciate that. Vash, my husband's dad is a retired minister as well. Um, But yeah, I didn't want anybody to hear my dog crying and think that we were hurting our dog, and I didn't want anybody to clip it, and make shorts, videos, or anything, and claim that we were doing anything to the dog. I did not want that. So Mo had made it private for me until I could decide what to do, because she said she could hear Bimbo crying, and she knew I wouldn't want that. So we we just decided to leave it private. And I'll probably go back eventually and just delete it. I don't ever want it to be accessed. I don't want anybody to ever listen to that. I don't want anybody to have access to it. So I'll probably go back and delete it and just get it completely out of the memory and everything, because it's too painful, and I don't want my fur baby to be victimized by anybody taking it and making a video out of it to say I was doing something to him or anything. Because everybody that was here, y'all know, I was very upset. I didn't even think to hit end live stream. I just said I got to go. My dog had a seizure and left. And Mo didn't like the way that I sounded in it. She didn't like hearing Bimbo crying in the background. So she privated it until we could talk and figure out what to do. And I made the decision just to leave it private. Because she thought that I might want to go in and edit that out. But no, I didn't even want to, I didn't want to hear it myself. So I said, no, I'm not going to. I left it private, and it will never be made public. I said, I'm probably going to go in and just delete it. Um, Guys, it's so good to be back doing lives with you guys. It really is. Um, oh, I wanted to tell y'all. Also, we were talking Tuesday. Remember me telling y'all Tuesday about Joe Clyde Daniels, uh, dad that was convicted of murdering him in Tennessee, the 5-year-old little boy, and that his mom was supposed to go on trial. His mom's trial got delayed because that witness that I told y'all committed suicide after his dad's trial, because people kept accusing that witness of being the one that hit Joe Clyde with his car and killed him, and they can't find Joe Clyde's body. Well, the mom's trial got delayed until mid-March. It was supposed to be starting February the 1st, and it got delayed until mid-March because they can't because of that witness committed suicide, and the prosecutor has COVID, and so they were trying to work everything out, and they delayed the mom's trial, and she's been in jail, y'all, since I think she was arrested in Joe Clyde went missing in April 2018, and I think the mom was arrested about the end of April or the 1st of May of 2018. And no. Bash, we pray for dogs. Me and Mo and I pray for Bimbo Tuesday. A lot of people tell me they're praying for Bimbo. It's not weird at all. We pray for fur babies. We do, and but Joe Clyde's mom is going on trial in the middle of March for his murder because they're saying that she was in the house and heard her husband abusing the little boy, and she didn't get up and do anything about it. She was supposedly quote unquote in bed asleep, and she didn't get up and do anything about it, and they're they charged her with child abuse and failure to report a death. But guys, let's pray for Joe Clyde's brothers. They were, like I told y'all Tuesday, they were taken away from the mom and placed with her brother. And one of them has had to testify against his dad in his dad's trial because he said that he heard some things in the night that night that makes him think that his dad did something to his brother. So there are some cases that's coming up that we're going to be talking about. And I'm sorry that I was out for the first few weeks of January sick. Those of you that are just joining the channel and stuff, I just wanted to let y'all know that while there's not any recent videos, my husband and I had the crud. We both tested negative for COVID. We had the crud, and we just kept passing it back and forth to each other. So I'm better. There for a few weeks, my voice was gone. I would think sometimes, okay, I'm better. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow, and I would wake up and my voice would be gone again. So, but yeah, I feel a lot better, and I missed all of y'all, and we're going to start going live. And yes, Daisy, that little boy's going to have that with him for the rest of his life. And I just pray that Tennessee can find real justice for Joe Clyde. If his daddy did it to him, I pray that his dad will eventually tell what he did with Joe Clyde's body. If his dad didn't do it, I pray that the state will find out what's going on. Mo, I'm glad you said that. Letitia Stout is, yes, Daisy's been sick, everybody. And sorry about that, guys. If y'all heard that, my phone, I accidentally hit it another channel's live with my finger, and it started playing. But anyway, Daisy's been sick. They have COVID in their house. So y'all please pray for Daisy so that she gets better. Gannon Stout. Letitia Stout is in court this afternoon in Colorado for hey LTF. I'm gonna call her LFT. I'm so sorry. LTF. Alicia, how are you, girl? Gannon's stepmother, Letitia Stout, is in court this afternoon. Do y'all remember Letitia? Letitia was arrested last January for killing, January 2021, for murdering her stepson. And she's supposed to be going to trial for his murder. And she was also in Colorado. And she said Gannon went to a neighbor's house to play with the kids and he didn't come home. Well, they found evidence in the basement. They found blood and everything in the basement where she had tried to clean it up, but it soaked through the carpet and the carpet pads. And they found evidence that they said when they found Gannon's body, he had been shot and stuff. And so they charged, she had already been arrested when they eventually found his body, y'all, thrown off in a suitcase, thrown off of a bridge in Florida. She took that little boy's body allegedly, because y'all know she's not convicted, so we have to say allegedly. But she took his body from Colorado all the way to Florida and threw him off of a bridge, and then went to South Carolina. Oh, thank you, Alicia. I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much. But yeah, we're going to be following Gannon's case too. And I'm sure all of you saw. Yeah, his body was in the trunk or the hatch of her SUV in the garage when she called the cops to come to her house because he was missing. Gannon's body, his remains, were in the trunk of his stepmother's SUV in a suitcase. Well, she was in there pretending like she didn't know where the kid was. Now, this woman is just heartless. She's just heartless. And no, so let's remember that family. So, and pray that they get some closure, that they get some justice for their son. There's been several delays. First, Letitia wanted to defend herself, and then she didn't want to defend herself. She quit. She quit wanting to go to the law library. Then she got thrown out of the law library, and then they gave her another public defender. And several times there's been delays. She had to go for a mental evaluation, and it's just been crazy. So let's hope and pray that things are about to finally start rolling in the right direction, and they're going to get justice for Gannon. Guys, when Gannon was born, he had his mom said he had a 10% chance of survival. And he beat the odds. He was born prematurely. He beat the odds, and he came home. And then his parents had a little girl, and then they ended up getting a divorce. And his daddy remarried and married Letitia. And his dad's military, so they had moved to Colorado for military assignment. And his dad left that Sunday to go to training. And she allegedly killed Gannon Monday. So let's pray for them because they need some closure. Gannon's mom and dad need closure. His little sister needs closure. And guys, let's remember Letitia's daughter. Hey, Christy, how are you? Letitia's daughter from her first marriage, Harley, is like, I think Harley is probably 20 now, 19 or 20, but she her dad had passed away like a couple years before Gannon died. And of course, her mom's in jail, and Harley's out to face this big old world. Oh, Christy, I'm having a pretty good day, girl. I hope you are as well. So let's remember Harley, and as well, some people think that Harley may have had something to do or knew that her mom had did something to Gannon. Let's also pray that if that's true, if that comes to fruition, and she did have something to do with it, that the police find it out. And if they didn't, the police also and the prosecutors also prove that she didn't have anything to do with it, and Harley can live a beautiful life. Either way, let's pray for justice for Gannon. Oh, you're welcome, Vash. Thank you so much. And come back and join us. Please come back and join us. Oh, Mo, I do too. I hope Letitia didn't involve her daughter. Guys, I pray that she didn't. I pray that, see, I'll tell you a little bit about this and then we'll wrap this one up. But this part of it, Letitia sent Harley to the store. For those of you that may not know about this case, Letitia sent Harley, her daughter, to the store that afternoon to get cleaning supplies. And she asked Harley to get baking soda and vinegar. Oh, you're welcome. But she sent Harley to the store to get like garbage bags, baking soda, and vinegar. And guys, y'all know baking soda and vinegar cleans up blood. It gets blood out of stuff. And so, that's why some people don't wonder if Harley knew what had happened to Gannon. Why she wouldn't know when her mom is asking her, she texts Harley her request for these things. And the receipt for the store was in Letitia's car, but Harley went in her own vehicle to get the supplies. And she took Gannon's little sister with her, her stepsister. She took her with her. So, yeah. Hey, Roddy, Mama, how are you? So, how would you not? I mean, I can understand why people think that she may have known what was going on. And for those of you that aren't as familiar with the case, this particular color blue was Gannon's favorite color. And so a lot of people in chats, when they talk about Gannon, uh, post those hearts as a tribute to Gannon. Yes, all is well, Rody Mama. Thank you so much for being here. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap this one up and let everybody. That way, if anybody's wanting to go somewhere else, visit other channels, um, we can do that. I thank you all so much for being here. I thank you all for sticking with me. Like I said, I know sometimes we're smaller in numbers than other chats. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. Daisy, I had a note. Oh, Christy, it's okay. I had a note made to remind y'all about Summer. Please, please, please pray for Summer Wells and her family. Summer's birthday is coming up. Her dad goes to court on February the 7th for his DUI charge. And that was also, I talked about this in my other lives Tuesday that I had to make private, or we made private. There was another incident on January the 19th where Candace called the police and said that Don had assaulted her. Well, the police got there. The stories didn't match up. They couldn't find any evidence. She thought he broke her finger. They couldn't find any evidence to support her claim. And they advised her how to get a restraining order and to go and seek like a civil prosecution type thing that they didn't have anything to really charge him with. So let's pray for that situation. And the same thing that I said about Gannon. If Don and Candace had anything to do with it, pray that the TBI finds the evidence that they need to charge them. Yes, a rowdy mama. She called the police January the 19th of this year, 2022, and again, this is the second call. I would imagine, Christy, they are having a lot of arguments. I imagine that they are. Their daughter's missing. Their two sons got taken away by CPS. Internet people won't leave them alone. They're showing up at their house. They're getting them fired from their work. I mean, come on. The TBI, if they had anything to do with it, the TBI is going to figure it out. Yes, Christy, that's right. And if they had anything to do with it, the TBI will figure it out. I honestly figure as many times as the police have talked to them, y'all, I'm not being ugly, but we're not talking about rocket scientists here. You know what I mean? And I honestly think by now, if they had anything to do with it, TBI would have them in jail. So, like I said, the state of Tennessee does not mind pressing charges on anybody for anything. They have convicted Joe Clyde Daniels' dad of murder, and they can't find Joe Clyde's body. So the state of Tennessee will not mess around. They will put you in jail. They will arrest you for it if they can do anything at all about it. Yes, Christy, that's exactly right. And the way that they drink and party, people get loose lips when they're drinking and having a party and everything. People get loose lips. They start bragging to their friends and bragging to anybody they can get to listen to them about what they've done and gotten away with. One of them two would have slipped up and said something if they had done anything, I think, to Summer. And so let's just try to keep it in mind, that Don and Candace have not been arrested because the state of Tennessee don't have any evidence that they've done anything wrong. And getting in their face and screaming, calling them murderers, and suggesting to Don that he should assault Candace to get her to tell where Summer's body is and all this stuff, that's not helping anything. That's not a pressure campaign. You're just being a jerk to people that you don't even know. You're not trained to do pressure campaigns. The TBI is trained how to do a pressure campaign if they want to do that. Exactly, Res Rose. They do need to leave those people alone. The TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Departments, yeah, and innocent neighbors are being bothered and all that. Leave those people alone. Exactly right, Christy. If something like that happened in your family, would you want people to come to your house and say those things to you? Yeah, and now they're unemployed, or certain contractor won't work with them. And guys, I'm going to tell you, I have family. My husband's family is in that part of Tennessee. My brother lives about 45 minutes away from where Summer lives. I'm telling you, jobs are not easy to get up there if you don't, really if you don't have an education and stuff. That's not what you want to do to somebody that's already going through a hard time. You don't want somebody that's already has a problem with alcohol and their temper and everything like that to also be facing unemployment. Yes, Rowdy Mama, they caused them to lose their contract with that particular developer. Hey, Melissa Jade, how are you? They caused them to lose their contract. The way I'm understanding it, they caused them to lose their contract with that particular developer, and we can all look at them and tell that they don't have a lot of training, education, things like that. So what do you think that's going to do to people like that? They're going to fight more. Melissa, we're just talking right now. We're talking about Summer Wells. Just about, how maybe people just need to start leaving them alone, her parents alone, and just let the TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Department do their job. That's it. Melissa, a few of us are from Tennessee. One of my mods lives pretty close up there. And then my brother is like 45 minutes away from Summers. It is a complete mess. It is an absolute mess. And we just leave them alone. The sheriff's department and the TBI will figure it out. And then we will all know eventually, praying to God, who did what to Summer, and hopefully have a resolution to this. I realize we're all drawn in. We all love kids. We all want to know what happened to her. But this isn't helping anything. This campaign isn't helping anything. And I know JLR made a comment or tweet the other day that the bikers are not coming to East Tennessee. I'm real glad they're not. I am. I'm just going to tell y'all, I'm glad they're not. That's not going to help anything. And there's weather, and I appreciate bikers. I appreciate Bikers of America. I appreciate everything that they do to help kids and help families that's going through a hard time. But the weather up there right now, it's not something you need to be out on a motorcycle in. I mean, you can't come to East Tennessee in that kind of air, on those kind of roads and stuff on a motorcycle this time of the year. You're probably going to hit some ice. You know, worry about the safety of the bikers because, like I said, it's dangerous. You just can't go up there right now on a motorcycle. And I say that having bikers in my family. My brother that lives up there rides a motorcycle. And my other brother that lives here in town, he rides motorcycles. He's ridden his motorcycle to Pigeon Forge before. And yeah, so nobody needs to be up there on a motorcycle right now. They don't need to be up there, period, aggravating and hindering the investigation. Definitely don't need to be up there on a motorcycle. Definitely don't. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up. And exactly, don't need to be saying Summer's dead. We don't have any proof that Summer's dead. Nobody has admitted to hurting Summer. Nobody has found blood or anything to suspect Summer's dead. And saying Summer's dead and causes one person to stop looking for Summer, and maybe they see Summer somewhere, and then they think, oh, well, they said Summer's dead, so that's probably not Summer, and it keeps us from finding Summer. Oh, Christy, I'm so sorry, girl. Yeah, it's cool here today. I live in West Tennessee, and of course, Summer's in East Tennessee, and then but it was really really cold here. The sun's out, but I think the wind's blowing a little bit here, so it's going to be a cooler day here again. But anyway, guys, I love you all so much. I appreciate every one of you for being here. Thank you all so much, and we're going to get to covering cases and talking about things, and oh, and then we're going to get back to case cares as well. So y'all be watching for that. We're going to start our devotions back really, really soon on case cares. And I will see you guys the next time. Thank you all so, so much. And for everybody that joined and became a member, thank you all so, so much. You guys have a great day. Bye, everybody.